Hey, hello. Welcome back, everybody. Um, this week we're going to talk about work culture and how it's kind of shifting, especially with the newer generations. And yeah, let's just dive into it, I guess. Um, was there something you specifically wanted to start off with, or?
Well, I think that there's a trend right now where a lot of traditional jobs are complaining that they're having trouble finding good candidates, but a lot of people are choosing not to take some of the more traditional jobs that used to be considered really great jobs, like a 9 to 5 office job, because I think a lot of people are not feeling that it's worth it anymore. It used to be like with a traditional corporate job, you could afford a really great lifestyle and, like outside time, you made plenty of money. That was probably enough to like support a whole family. And now it's like you're chained to your desk all day and it's like not really worth it anymore. I think that's what people are finding. What do you think?
Yeah, I didn't know that that was like a theme that companies are having a hard time finding people. Like, I'm just curious, like where you've been hearing that from, type of thing.
Well, so I think that that's a trend in the last few years. In the last few months, I think that the job market has been crazy, and I don't know if that's like currently true. It was kind of a theme. I don't know. I've heard employers say it quite a bit that it's like it's so hard to find like good workers these days
Yeah.
because people want like benefits and people want to be like paid well for the work that they have and they're not going to kill themselves for a job that isn't worth it. So I think that that's like the discrepancy there. I think that there are lots of people looking for jobs right now. Um, but people want like a job that's actually worthwhile and like pays them well for their time and treats them with respect.
Yeah, I definitely hear like a lot of people saying like nobody wants to work anymore, and it's like, yeah, because people don't want to be like breaking their back over these jobs that we're not even like being paid fully to like buy a house or like fully support ourselves. Like people are like struggling to, pay for things or make ends meet, and it's like that's why I feel like people don't want to like go above and beyond for their jobs, basically.
Totally.
Yeah.
Um, I've noticed working with some people who are quite a bit younger than me, like when I worked at my last office job, there was like this whole different philosophy around work. Like they would say things like, my value is not determined by my productivity. And like, I kind of just love that kind of, I deserve to exist in this world no matter how much like I produce. And whereas I think my generation is like kind of in the middle ground, and older generations are like, your work is everything. Like, you better dedicate your soul to this shit.
Yeah.
And when I was working that office job, it was an 8 to 5 job. And before getting it, I thought like, yeah, I could do that. That's like normal hours. But I just found it to be so soul crushing to spend that much time every day at work.
Yeah.
Um, and that's like the normal, like that's what is expected. And there was even duties outside of those hours, but I just found like I felt like I had no time for myself.
Mhm. Yeah. I definitely noticed like the big difference in like older generations versus the newer generation, like their mindset around work and like how long and how often and like just like basically revolving their life around their work or like that's like I don't know, all that they think that there is almost in a sense. Or like
Yeah.
the younger generations, it's like, no, I want to do this like outside of work. Like it's not like I don't want my life to just revolve around work. I want it to revolve around other things as well, like family, friends, like just other things outside of work, basically.
Yeah,
Um,
hobbies. Like I'd like to have a life outside work.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I'm really curious as to how things are going to shift, like say once this like older generation is like gone, once they're like done, like how are things going to look like in the future? Like, how old are you?
29.
29. So yeah, you're like millennial, right?
Hmm.
I'm millennial as well. I'm 30. So um even like I think what is the age group that's right above? Is it Gen
Gen
X?
X.
I think
Hmm.
so. I feel
Hmm.
like they're like the last of kind of like wanting to put a lot of effort into work and career. And I feel like millennials it's kind of like shifting and then Gen Z I think is the age below us. And they're
Hmm.
really like, now we don't want to work. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that in the future it will be more oriented, at least this is my vision, what I hope for, more oriented around like what you produce over the hours that you spend like in your office at your desk. Because the truth is, I worked like 8-hour days at that job and I could have gotten all my work done in 4, especially like if I was locked in. And then like a lot of it was kind of like somebody walks by and you're like looking busy
What the
because you already did everything that you have to do, but you're like you have to be there until a certain time. So you're supposed to just kind of like pace, like snail out your work so that it like matches up perfectly. When I think why not a structure where you get all your work done, like however long it takes within certain parameters, and then like when you're done, you could go home.
right? I totally agree. What like kind of job was that?
My last job was working for an Ayurvedic wellness company. It was a cool job. It was more, I guess, the structure that just doesn't, that type of structure doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
But
But I
I
mean,
was
like, what kind of work were you doing?
I was director of wellness. So I was kind of overseeing all the client and employee relations. And then before that, I was retreat coordinator. So I basically organized people for retreats and handled all the sales and set everything up.
Gotcha. So whatever you had to do for the day, you were able to just like get it done within a certain period of time. And then the
A
rest of
lot
the
of
day, you're like, okay, now what?
I mean, let's say like sometimes I would get an email or a few emails or whatever at
Yeah.
4:30, between 4:30 and 5, and I'd like knock them out. But like I'm a very efficient worker, so I'm the type of person where like if I have a list of to do things to do, I'll just knock them out pretty quickly. And I feel
Yeah.
like the world is not set up for people like me at all.
No, I'm the exact same way. I'm curious if you do you know your like human design?
I'm a generator.
Okay, I'm a manifesting generator, but so
Yeah,
I
I
was
got
just like curious if we're exactly the same, but I'm definitely like efficient. Like I like to like just do everything I need to do. I'll like get into a flow state and just like get it all done. And
Mhm.
then once I'm done, I'm like, okay, I'm done. But then it's like it's hard to get back into that flow, you know?
Yeah,
And so
same.
like the rest of the day, I'm like, okay, well, what do I do now? Versus like I would like to just like get all my work done however long it takes me to do because it's weird because like a lot of the jobs that I have like taken over from other people, they always like talk about how much like work it is and like there's so much to do and it's gonna take so long and then I go and do it and I'm like, this took me like 2 hours. Like, what are you talking about? I'm so
Yeah.
confused how it took the last person like the whole day. Like, am I doing something wrong or am I just like really efficient? Like, what's going on here?
Everybody has like different natural paces to them. And like I think it's like a personality type or like an efficiency type. Like, and I'm in the same kind of category. Some people can just like some people are sprinters and some people are like marathon runners, you know? And like some people also I think most people at work go back and forth between working and fucking around in one way or another. Like whether
Yeah.
they're like talking to somebody or like bothering their like colleague or like doing this or that. Like
Yeah.
that's what most people are doing in an office job type setting, just like kind of switching back and forth. And that's why it takes them all day to get everything done.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. No, and I'm very like introverted. Like I'd be cool just working from home. Like I don't even have to interact with people, just do my work and like I'm cool with that. I know like during the pandemic, a lot of people who were like extroverted and wanted to talk to other people all wanted to like go back into the office. And
Mhm.
like when I had a remote job, I was like, no, like I would work from home like for the rest of my life. Like I'm cool with that. Like I don't want to go into the office. And then I feel like a lot more jobs now, like they don't even want to offer remote, like they want like in office or hybrid type of thing for whatever reason. And it's like I feel like it's so unnecessary with like driving to work, like traffic, and like with today's like what you can do like on the computer and online. Like I do like accounting work basically. And like I feel like most of that can just be done on the computer. Like you don't have to go into the physical office to do all the work that needs to be done, you know?
Yeah, I think that's all going to change as well. I think they're like trying to preserve like the office culture and infrastructure thing. Like I'm sure realtors or whoever owns those buildings like doesn't want don't want people to be working from home, and I'm sure there's like silly reasons for that, but I really think that's going to shift because with like how much you can do on the computer, like you're saying, like a lot of jobs could be fully remote. And I'm very lucky. I have a fully remote job right now. I work for a nonprofit. And it's really nice. Like, and you don't have to be at home. You can just do it wherever you have a computer. And really, like, it makes all the difference, especially if you don't mind being at home. I will say that sometimes I'm like at home a little too much and I'll like go to a coffee shop or something, just like
Yeah.
in the world, but it's nice to have the option.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. Yeah, I think the last like remote job, which like I enjoyed working from home, but then also it came to that point where I felt like I had to constantly like feel like um what's that called? Like on Teams, like you know how it'll tell you if someone's like busy on the computer. I'm like I feel like I have to like pretend that I'm like working the entirety of this time when it doesn't take me the entirety of this time, you know? Um so I felt still like tied to the computer in a sense versus like
Hmm.
okay, just get my work done and then do whatever else I need to do for the day, you know?
That's true. It's still being kind of tied and like making sure that like you're active. It's like
Yeah.
that on Teams and like Slack too. So that's I mean that's true, but at least I feel like if you work from home, even if you have to be at your desk from this time to this time, you could still like run over and like change the laundry, or you can like get off work and like cook yourself a nice lunch and then go back, or it still
Yeah.
offers flexibility even if you're kind of tied to your computer all day.
Oh, for sure. But I feel like I also because I just felt like there was something missing. Like there was something in my life that I didn't feel like fully fulfilled. And I think that's why I really started to lean into doing stuff online that was more like in the spiritual or like I wanted to go into like maybe life coaching or whatever because I was like I don't feel fulfilled. And also like I didn't really care for the company that I worked for per se, like the type of work that they did. So it was like
Mhm.
I guess hard to really enjoy it or get into it. Um, so maybe that was it. But then I feel like there's still this like missing piece for people where it's like we need a deeper like purpose or connection in some other form than just like I don't know. I feel like a lot of the our culture and society is very disconnected from like a deeper purpose in our lives, you know? Do you agree
Yeah,
with that? Mhm.
definitely. And I think that most people are torn, at least a lot of people that I know are torn between feeling like they just want a job that supports them and makes good money, and then also feeling like most people have some sort of calling of thing that they would like to be spending their time doing if they didn't have to worry about survival. And I think most of us are torn like between those things.
Mhm. I
Like
agree.
a lot of people would love to just like paint all day, but then they're like a
Mhm.
contractor or whatever because like,
Yeah.
you know, you gotta
Yeah.
pay your pay
Uh-huh.
your
Yeah. I just think like maybe the like this I don't know, the structure or the expectations of society that it's like you have to for example, like you have to wake up at this exact time to be here for like this time at this job and like you have to rush to work or whatever, like you're rushed to do that and then you're like stuck at this job from this time to this time and then you only have this little bit amount of time afterwards, which I'm already drained from working 8 hours at this job or whatever. Versus like slowing down, taking the time to, I don't know, have a morning routine type of thing, which I mean, you can like do that for yourself. Like you can wake up earlier and stuff, but I feel like it's not like as a society, we're that's not like a normal thing in our society that I feel like should become more normalized in our society,
I
you
think
know?
so too. Like, I don't at all believe that our whole lives should be work.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of jobs where it really is like my whole life. And then I spend every minute that I'm not at work recovering from work or doing
Mhm.
things that I have to do to like stay alive as a human, like
Yeah.
um, grocery shopping and like errands and all those things. And I just, I don't think that humans are meant to live this way. I think that's probably why a lot of people feel deeply unsatisfied, is because, at the very least, even if we do the thing that we do for money and that's like our job, we need something that we're working on or something to like live for that's not about that, like something that actually touches us in some way.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I feel like, well, so a lot of our society is kind of like, individualized. Everyone has their own, like we don't have community basically. Like
Mhm.
what it used to be. Like it used to be more community, maybe more like community farming, um, more like culture type of thing. And now it's just like everyone just, does their single job, pays for their single housing, and it's just like very individualized versus like if we're like helping each other out, maybe like trading stuff or whatever, like I feel like that would give people more the opportunity to work less and like rest more type of thing.
Yeah, it honestly makes way more sense. And honestly, if things start to crumble, I think we might end up a little bit more back in that mode. But even just like you can barter your skills with people, even just now. And I think that that's a great way to kind of skirt the system in a way. Like, my partner does that. He's a personal trainer. And a lot of times he'll offer people, like, I'll give you X amount of personal training sessions if you'll like make me this bench or if you'll do this. And he'll just like trade services like that. And I
Okay.
do actually think that's how we're supposed to live. Like, I make jam, you grow like the fruits. Like we like all just have our things that we do that contribute to society and we all collectively help each other. Like, that makes so much more sense.
Yes, I agree with that. If we can like get that way, I don't know how like how we can get to that, but I feel like that would take a lot of the pressure off of people, basically.
I know, I know. I think that it is interesting, especially in the US, how a lot of people live, well, probably worldwide. People live very isolated lives now. People are a lot more disconnected from community, and like kind of the village, that we used to have. And I think we need that,
Yeah.
for survival in a way. I mean, it's okay. Like, you don't have to have like a ton of friends or whatever, but the aspect of community where like we're all looking out for each other is something that I think is really
Yeah.
important. And I hope that we can cultivate more of that. I try to do it on a small scale just by like kind of community building locally. Like, I know my neighbors and like that sort of thing, but on a bigger scale, I think it needs to happen, especially in this next chapter of the world.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like I don't know when, because like when I was really going into like and did we talk about no, I think I talked about this on I just recorded another video with another girl the other day. I haven't posted it yet, but I was talking about how I went into a point where I was like in spiritual psychosis basically. So like a few months ago I was like, okay, all these big changes are gonna happen, like the world's gonna crumble, society's gonna crumble, and everything's gonna shift or whatever. And so I was like waiting for that to happen, like when is this gonna happen? And it's like I don't think it's going to happen as quickly as I was expecting it to. Like, I don't know how long it's going to take to get to that point. So I'm curious when or if it will get to that point, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like actively crumbling right now,
Yeah.
or like starting to. It's not like, and it doesn't happen overnight, but if you like just look at how wacky things are right now, it kind of seems like it's a collapsing of a paradigm. And I do think things are going to crumble and be rebuilt in a new light. That's the timeline that I want to be on.
Yeah. I know. I agree. Like I expected it to happen like within a month and I was like, it's not happening. Like, where is it? So I think it's just, slowly happening.
Yeah,
Like,
when did you go into spiritual psychosis?
um, this was probably maybe like the beginning of this year-ish, around like, I don't know, beginning, middle of this year type of thing.
It did seem like the world was like about to explode at that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and then I like had a conversation with a friend and they like brought me back down to like Earth
Mhm.
basically. Like I was like up in the clouds or whatever and like someone really like grounded me down into reality and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
Like to have a different perspective from someone else, you know.
definitely. That can be very needed sometimes. And
Yeah, yeah.
I also think that like even if things are crumbling, it doesn't mean that we're gonna go like full apocalypse or something. Like it could just be that like I think the current financial system is probably gonna like crumble and be rebuilt a bit. Um, and I think the current like government structure, I'd like with everything going on with like politically right now, I kind of feel like it's mid crumble
Mm.
and people are gonna rebuild it better. That's
Yeah.
my hope.
Well, see, like, and I also thought about this. I was like, was I just hoping for all this to collapse just so I could kind of like get like an out like in a financial sense like that I don't have to deal with, earning money or finances or whatever. I was like,
Mhm.
was I just relying on this to happen so that I could avoid having to deal with that, you know? So I kind of was like, I need to sorry. I need to like stop avoiding this and like I don't know.
Yeah.
Try and like I don't know, put myself out there or do something out of my comfort zone to make money versus just like avoiding it completely and hoping that like everything's just gonna collapse so I don't have to deal or worry about it, you know?
Yeah. Oh, well, you can like still play the game like even during the collapse. Like I think that you can still like build success and all that. But I get the avoidance. I kind of want, I mean, obviously I don't want to do any of this, honestly.
I know.
But no, well, here's a question. If like money wasn't a thing in the structure, how it is wasn't a thing, like what would you spend your time working on? Like what lights you up in that way?
Well, see, that's the thing is like I enjoy the luxuries that money does bring. Like I
Oh,
enjoy having, the nice house with the running water and like you can order something and it just comes to your door, whatever. Like I went to another country, like I went to Costa Rica last
mhm,
year and the completely like difference in the way that they go about things and run things is like it was like culture shock to me basically and I was like wow, I'm like really grateful for how I do live even though it costs a lot more money versus like they were living very like poor and don't have money and it's like very like they were like living in shacks basically and I was like I miss the comforts of America basically. So
mhm,
it's like it's a give and take. It's like do you want to like work really hard and earn money for these comforts
mhm.
or do you want to not like work hard for money or whatever and just like work really hard in like growing food and whatnot, you know? So I think it's important to find that balance. Like everybody needs to find that balance of like what they really want out of their life, how they like envision their lifestyle and like what they're willing to, sacrifice like making money wise for that lifestyle, you know?
Totally.
But if I could just like not worry about money at all, I would just like I just enjoy like going on my little errands, like whatever errands I want to do, go to the gym, go shopping, like go grocery shopping, like do pole stuff like that, you know. I just
Yeah.
do that stuff. But that like also it's like I need money to just go to the gym and do my little grocery shopping and stuff like that, you know.
Totally. Yeah. No, I mean, I love having money because I love having the freedom to do what I want.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
travel and honestly like shop. But like it's not even really about stuff for me. It's like
Yeah.
about feeling like I can do whatever I need to do and want to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
But I have like a theory that if everybody's needs were cared for in one way or another, like universal basic income mixed with like maybe like AI doing a lot for us, and people had a bunch of free time, I think people would actually spend it making the world a better place and things would improve drastically because most people want to work on something,
Mhm.
like a lot of people or people would use that to get creative and like innovate new ideas. Like I wonder how many people who are brilliant, who are like stuck in a really draining job, who otherwise could be like creating new inventions that like really propel humanity forward. Like I honestly think that, I don't know,
Yeah.
that's a future that I think would be really wonderful.
Yeah, I feel like we have the resources for everyone to have like basic shelter, food, water. Like, I think a lot of the system, the way things run is like unnecessary. Like, just the way that things are set up, like if people could like water falls from the sky. Like, why aren't we just like filtering the water that comes from the sky, like into our
Yeah.
homes? Like, that's free. Like, just like things like that, or like more like community farming, like or
Hmm.
it's like, yeah, we don't have to like, I don't know,
Yeah.
bring food from afar, like trading, like, I don't know, making bread or whatever.
Hmm.
And like shelter, like I feel like there should be there's plenty of resources where it's like everyone could have these basic necessities like met, and then people could just like do more on top of that.
Yeah. I think that that would make a lot of sense. And I think considering how abundant this world is, like, I think that that's actually totally attainable. The problem is that there are certain people who benefit from it being set up so that some people can never get ahead. And
Yeah,
if I don't know, if we could create more of like a redistribution of resources, honestly, there's so much space. Like if you think about like how many buildings are uninhabited in the US, I bet like a lot of unhoused people could be placed in those buildings. And I know there's like a lot of complications to that, but just like hypothetically, like I think we could grow enough food to feed people. I think that there's enough houses probably already built to house people. Like the problem is that there's just like no connection being made between those two things.
yeah. I think it has a lot to do with like greed of money, basically. Like people are just like earning a shit ton of money off of their businesses, where it's like, how much money is like enough money that you don't need any more money, basically,
I've
you
had
know?
this debate with people. Some people will say it's never enough. And I know that that's kind of the human condition, but it has been proven that there's like a certain amount of money. I think it's like 200 million or something like that, where like if you go over 200 million, the like happiness levels or like quality of life doesn't like the happiness levels drop, the quality of life doesn't necessarily improve.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't know like the exact number, but it's like it just seems like a lot of the companies are just like trying to pinch like every little penny to get as like big of a profit as they possibly can, where it's like I understand like making money and like earning a living or whatever, but like at what point does it come to where you're just like basically screwing a bunch of other people over, like just health wise, like the health of this country and stuff like that just for money purposes, like to earn more money. It's like
Yeah.
I don't know, it's ridiculous.
Most companies are structured that way. Like most big companies, the CEO makes like multiple millions every year, and the average employee makes minimum wage. Like,
Hmm.
sorry, I'm gonna call out Starbucks. Starbucks is like that. Like they always pay minimum wage.
Hmm.
I know that they offer like some benefits and stuff, but there's been certain companies, like I think Dr. Bronner's was one of the companies that made it employee owned. So instead of like a couple people at the top making a shit ton of money, everybody like in the middle makes more essentially and has like stakes in the company as well. And people love working there. It's supposed to be like an incredible company to work for because people feel valued, and so they do a good job.
That's awesome. That's
Crazy.
every combination. Crazy thought. Who would have thought?
Yeah. No,
That's
and I don't even know if I got the structure of that exactly right, but there are ways to do it that benefit everyone.
yeah. Every company needs to, learn this. We got to figure this out, right?
Right.
We don't have much time. We only have like 6 minutes. There's like one other thing I wanted to like mention about basically like people working themselves into sickness and stuff. Like I definitely notice, especially my parents, they're getting older and I feel like they can't work like they used to, especially like my dad like working himself into the ground and then like having like health issues and stuff and then him not being able to work because he's not even taking the time to like the rest that he needs for his health and stuff like that. And where was I going with this? um, oh, I think it just like the older generation has that like idea that they don't even like worry about their health and stuff. It's just like all work or work till they push their body to the point where it's like you're forced to rest, basically.
Mhm.
And I think we need to encourage more rest and taking care of your health and your body versus, working yourself into the ground and as a society, I think that just needs to be encouraged more so that we can, um, so work can be more sustainable versus, working yourself into the ground.
Absolutely. And I think that employers should be concerned on whether their employees are able to like live happy lives outside of work. Like that should be a consideration. And people deserve to have that. I think the whole concept of like you work your whole life and then by the time like you're done working, if you're that lucky, you're like sick and suffering and like you get a few years of retirement or whatever, but your like knees aren't working and like it's not right. Like it shouldn't be that way. Like the quality of life should be throughout your whole life.
Yeah, hell no. I ain't waiting until I'm like old and crippled to live my life. Like I want to enjoy my life now, not when I'm 70 years old.
Seriously, it's insane. It's got to
Yeah,
change.
it does. So I don't know how it's gonna happen, but maybe just the more people that we talk about this and hopefully it shifts.
Yeah, we're starting a conversation. And I think the more people think about it, the more people develop their own like values around this. And as they start businesses, like if I started a business, the quality of life of my employees would be very important to me. So I
Yes.
think we just need more people who care about these things in those roles.
Mhm. I agree 100%. Yeah. All right. Well, is there anything else you wanted to add?
I
Or
think that's all I have at the moment, but this was a great conversation. I really enjoyed it.
yeah, yeah, me too. This was great. Okay,
Sweet.
so where can people find you on social media?
At Tierashley, Tierashley. That's on Instagram and Threads. Those are the main things that I use at the moment. And then podcast coming eventually.
I love that. Yes. Hopefully we're gonna get on that.
All
All
right.
right. You can find me at Shelby Kingsley with two Y's at the end on Threads and Instagram, and then my YouTube is Shelby YT 27. No, I changed it. Sorry. I don't even know what my YouTube name is. I think it's Shelby like 777 or something like that. Anyways, this is where people are gonna be watching it. Anyways, so
Great.
all right. Well, this was great. Thank you for coming on and talking.
Thanks for having me. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye.